Welcome to our new 11.07 release session together with Christian Werner from our product management team. He also comes to present the new software that we will release in a couple of days. I guess the plan is something approximately at end of March. I hope that this timeline is still valid. And since we are integrating a lot of new features into the IGEL OS on a regular basis, we have such kind of sessions together with Christian, or in general with product management, where they also can to show us what they're usually showing internally to our IGEL pre-sales, advanced services, support colleagues, to the wider range of IGEL community members. So I'm really pleased to have Christian Werner with me, and I will hand it over to his presentation right now.
Thanks a lot, Sebastian. So hi and good day, good morning all. Always a pleasure to be invited and to do some sessions for you. Today we are talking about our next IGEL OS stable release, and this is our 11.07.100, and release, as you mentioned, is currently scheduled for March 29, and we are still on track. So we are quite confident that we could offer that release at that time frame. So let's start. And as typical for my presentations, when it comes to an IGEL OS release, I start with the base architecture. And also as typical, we have a new and updated kernel version in this upcoming stable release. This is kernel 5.15. In detail, kernel 5.15.26 will now be used here for our final release. We've updated that the last days once again for security reasons. The new kernel offers support for newer hardware and chipsets, so always an important update from our side, as our focus is offering a wide range of supported x86-based hardware. Of course, also some base system packages were updated furthermore, and partly also in regards of security, and that affects components like Xorg, Blues, OpenSSH, and ALSA. And a very new thing to extend our flexibility when it comes to Wi-Fi, we've added the IWD to our existing implementation of WPA supplicants. IWD, which is a newer network daemon, offers an improved and faster handling of Wi-Fi connections. So it could be definitely helpful to try IWD when there are issues with Wi-Fi. Possible to enable via registry key in our first implementation, and IWD stands for iNet Wireless Daemon, by the way. Security, always a big topic for us. There we've updated both integrated browsers to current versions, more than necessary to stay up to date here, as nearly every update contains security fixes. Furthermore, also the current security breaches are covered with that release. There we have the fix for the Polkit escalation of privilege, which we already addressed with the IGEL OS 11.06.250. The fix for dirty pipe, also offered with the 11.06.260, and the very current net filter issue. All of these are fixed with the stable release, so with the IGEL OS 11.07.100. And new solutions are also in the making, means all of the new upcoming features are not part of the 100 release, but will be offered with a release short time after the 11.07.100. There we have the nice and easy printer management solution, LRS, the support of RNDIS, which stands for Remote Network Driver Interface Specification, and this is a virtual Ethernet protocol used with or on top of USB and needed for support of their ST1506 terminal, which is widely used in the healthcare sector, so a software implementation for offering the support of that specific hardware. And also an ongoing topic are the enhancements for our AVD implementation. Teams already mentioned a few times. And now we are really close with our common implementation. The current plan is to offer the implementation for that short time after the 11.07.100. So it will be definitely offered as fast as anyhow possible, as this is a very demanded topic. And of course, we are aware of that. An exact date cannot be given at that point of time, but we are quite confident to offer that integration within April. And also a very useful feature for AVD, we've implemented a version check. So when the user is working with an outdated AVD version, there will be a banner with further information on screen. This feature is also enabled by default. And it is now also possible to perform an automatic proxy configuration with the usage of the so-called PAC files. This was already implemented in a general way, but not possible for AVD so far, and that will change with that release. We have also a smaller change in regards of licensing with the 1107. The add-on license for the Teradigi PC over IP Ultra client is not required anymore. Means the client is directly available with every workspace edition license, which is definitely quite nice. But of course, licensing is still required for the cloud access software on server side, but as mentioned, not for the client anymore. Two new combined UMS and IGEL OS features, which will be offered with IGEL OS 1107 and the UMS 6.10. The first lists all possible MAC addresses of one device. So the one local on the device or of the connected docking stations are listed, and also the Wi-Fi MAC addresses. This information can be used for views, license handling, etc. So also customers are using MAC addresses as a security feature for client access to various services via policies in the UMS. So this offers a nice range of possibilities. And also, I would say a quite special and an expert feature is the synchronization of system information attributes. With that, we are offering the sync for any self-defined attributes. This feature is for users of custom command scripts to get data like location, departments, etc., usually triggered via DHCP. And these attributes to sync can be defined via UMS, and of course are also available in the UMS for corresponding profile assignments, etc. So any client-specific criteria can be used in the UMS then. So yeah, definitely quite nice. And of course, this will be also documented in our knowledge base then with the release.
That's, by the way, one of the biggest changes in the system attributes feature set since the custom attributes were introduced in the UMS administration part. Because if you think back about how all the custom command that we're sending out in Slack and the Agile community, but also from your previous engineer, you may have the situation in the past that where you wanted to write something back from the endpoint to the UMS database. Can be something like read a specific hardware asset from the endpoint, which is not detected by the standard UMS, or even if you use the scripts for testing the bandwidth, for checking the network speed, for checking if a specific session is started, and if yes, write it back to the UMS. There's a huge amount of information that you could write back, but just by using the UMS structure tag. So you misused, if I can use that term, the 226 DHCP option, which is not in use on the network side, but only by writing something in the local configuration and syncing it back into the UMS. So now you can really focus on the option UMS structure tag 226 and use it how often you like, and write everything else that you want to get in the UMS interview, reported, etc., by using this new feature. So it will replace more or less all the structure tag workaround that you delivered in the past. So that's really a huge improvement in terms of field services, etc. I just want to mention a second thing, because I didn't want to interrupt you on the first slide. When it came to the kernel updates, I just want to be clear that even if it's quite obvious, we are sending out from time to time release candidates out. So you can test an early version of that firmware by asking your presys or advanced services or community member, and you will get as a private message a release candidate to test. Even if it's a release candidate and we send it out to you, it's never meant for production purpose. So if you're using the RC version of the 1107, please update to the latest stable version that Christian is mentioning right here. That's it.
Yeah, thanks for mentioning. Of course, release candidates are just test versions, and of course, it's not allowed to use that in a productive way. And yeah, please wait for the stable releases or the private builds or rolling release. That will be a topic a little bit later today. So then, so thanks also, Sebastian, for the nice explanation of the system information attributes feature. And let's move forward. Just a few smaller things to mention: an integrated option to change the frequency of the used webcams. US is using 60 Hertz for their power line. Usually most other count with 50 Hertz, and for that reason you may see some flickering of the LED lights when it's doing video calls. This can be avoided then with this new setting, and we added the keyboard layout for support Thai language, which was not present so far. And as always, a lot of further client, plugin, and driver updates for a nice and updated operating system, which we are offering as standard with our IGEL OS, excuse me, IGEL OS stable releases. And there you can see Citrix Workspace app is not the most current version. So it's just because we need some QA phase, and of course we have some code freestand, and therefore it was not possible to offer the latest version. So with that release, we are offering the Citrix Workspace app 21.12. So quite the same also with VMware Horizon. Of course, we will offer a further build with base of the 11.07.100 short time after that release with the current Citrix Workspace app. Currently, that's 22.02, and in the making is 22.03. So definitely there will be an update short time after that stable release.
Should I just maybe jump in on the VMware Horizon, because I know that there is a lot of questions and trouble out there regarding the keyboard delay. Sorry, we have a couple of people who are using the latest 11.06.150 firmware and is having issues by typing something, and you have a delay between the time where you press a key and which is shown on the display. There are a lot of workarounds out there with activating GUI3 or deactivating it, etc., etc. Long story short explanation. VMware Horizon is aware of a specific bug which might happen on VMware Horizon actual version. And the fix, which is provided in the VMware community, is not included in that firmware. We expect it in an upcoming private build, but not in that version for the moment because it's not stable.
Yeah, exactly. So VMware announced a minor update for offering that fix that will be offered in the very next time, and it's quite the same like we are doing it with the Citrix Workspace app. Once we have a stable version from them, we will integrate it and offer that via private build or so-called rolling release. A little bit further information about the rolling releases will come in a later part of this presentation.
Yay!
Okay, then let's move forward. Also some newly supported hardware. One is the support of the quite common mobile sync client MT46 from HP. This will be also supported with the corresponding G5 docking station, and this leads to our decision to enhance our official support hardware list. Now we are offering also official support for docking stations. More than needed, as a lot of our customers are using mobile devices with IGEL OS, and for that also docking stations are quite common, of course. We will start for the beginning with the Lenovo IO box and an added configuration for a third LAN port, which is necessary for that docking station. Further Lenovo dock 40AF, and as mentioned, the G5 dock of HP. And yeah, definitely more to come in these regards, as the support of mobile endpoints is one of our current focus topics. And this includes also the corresponding docks. Now to the changes when it comes to our releases, or general change. So for offering a constant flow of tested firmwares with newly added clients, features, drivers, and bug fixes, we are offering after the 11.07.100 our so-called rolling releases. And that in addition to our stable releases, so the usual 100 numbers and the well-known private builds. As the rolling releases are tested and QA qualified in difference to our private builds, these builds will be offered also in an official way, so downloadable via the software download section on IGEL.com and also via the universal firmware update tool within our UMS. So definitely a quite nice enhancements just to offering our tested releases in a constant way. The cadence of this rolling release is currently planned with 3 weeks. So every 3 weeks, we will offer a new rolling release with the current changes. There's also quite easy versioning. So stable releases have the 100, as you see today. Rolling releases will be counted by tens, and private builds will have a number accepted O at the end. So the next rolling release after the 11.07.100 will be the 110. The next private build after that rolling release will be the 111. So it's quite easy. And with that, you see directly which kind of firmware you're using as well. And with the release of our IGEL OS 11.06.210, we started the offering of HTML-based release notes. In addition to the plain text file, so this HTML version offers a better overview via slide-off of categories and provides also the release history at first sight, so more than useful and quite handy via the slide out of categories. So both kinds are offered now with every IGEL OS 11 release. And that's it for now. Thanks a lot for your questions, Sebastian, and of course also for your attention.
Thank you very much, Christian. So as with we are still improving a lot of feature sets inside of our products, even if our eyes are definitely on UMS 12 and OS 12. I know that there is a lot of work there, but you are seeing that we are hearing your feedback since the structure tag, let's say movement to a custom attribute, was also not only obviously, but also coming from the IGEL community in the ids.igelcommunity.com website as a feature proposal. So we are really happy to see that you are able to, let's say, influence the product that you're delivering to the market. So thank you all for putting your ideas there, and thank you, Christian, and your team for listening to them.
Yeah, definitely. So feedback is always more than welcome. And of course, when we have some demanded topics from you and from your side, we are always open to check the possibilities on our end. Or of course, when we have a good way, we are definitely able and happy to integrate it and offer that to you.
Lovely. Thank you very much.
Of
then I would
course.
say have a nice day and see you soon.
Same to you. Have a lot of fun with the new release. Enjoy it. And yeah, thanks a lot for your attention and for your time, Sebastian.
Thank you.